This is Nights into Dreams for the Sega Saturn from 1996. Regarded by many as one of the best games on the Sega Saturn and one of the best games ever made. And while this is not really my kind of game, I can see exactly why so many people think that way. It's creative, it's an experience, and it's an incredible challenge. This was developed exclusively for the Saturn by the creators of Sonic the Hedgehog to show off the Saturn's power. And that it does, although it's a very abstract game. Jumping into Nights into Dreams is like diving into a swimming pool full of freezing cold water. It's absolutely shocking and you're not entirely sure what you're supposed to do, except maybe scream. But eventually, you become accustomed to the situation and figure it out. It's a combination platformer and racing game with some very unusual boss battles. As you might expect from the Sonic Team logo, Nights into Dreams shares much in common with the Sonic the Hedgehog series. It's all about speed and precision, so repeat gameplay is a must. You're being scored in a variety of ways, so it's very similar to an arcade game, even though it was a Saturn exclusive. And this game could be purchased with the 3D control pad from Sega, which is like the precursor to the Sega Dreamcast controller, with an analog thumbstick and triggers, which I'm using for this review, and it works well for Nights because the controls are very, very touchy. But if you find a used copy of this game out there, you can also play it with the standard Sega Saturn controller, so you don't need the special one. So what's going on here? Well, at night, two characters, Elliot and Clarice, return home thinking that they're failures. But in the world of Nightopia, where dreams are played out, an evil being is gaining tremendous power. His name is Wise Man the Wicked, and he captures precious dream energy from the humans. And guess what? You've got to stop him. So it's like Dreamscape. That movie was awesome. Your dream energy is stolen at the beginning of each round, and you take control of a character called Nights, an aerial acrobat who flies through the levels collecting the dream energy. You're being timed, you're being scored, and you have to defeat an end boss at the end of each level. You know how every other game these days is made just to take your time, to give you a world to explore, and just take forever collecting things? Well, this game is made to challenge you. If you like arcade-style games, if you like the Sonic series, you really owe it to yourself to play Nights into Dreams. Now, it's a bit abstract for my taste, and it's a game that does require serious repeat gameplay because you have to absolutely memorize these levels. But there's not just any one way to play them. So once you sort of figure out the levels, then you can start exploring them. And there's a wild array of things that you can do to rack up points. Flying through loops, collecting stars, collecting the dream power things, and just performing stunts in the air, all while you're being timed. It's just a really cool game. But so bizarre, I can't believe that this is what they thought would be a showpiece, because typically showpiece games that demonstrate hardware power are very pretty, but conceptually very basic. And this is anything but basic. See, I'll admit it, I like basic. I like spaceship versus aliens, followed by explosions everywhere. But if you're looking for a game with serious gameplay depth, this is one for you, because Nights is not easy to control. Fiddly is the word that comes to mind, just making this guy dart and maneuver all over the place. And then you've got to get your lines down through the levels, and how do you want to fly through these loops? What path do you want to take? And then you're like challenging yourself on top of that. And if you don't defeat the end boss, you don't even get scored. And the end bosses are kind of weird, and it's not always clear at first how to defeat them, but if you're in a hurry, you can find that information out online. But even then, it's still not easy. Nothing about this game is easy. And that's evidence that this was not made for the arcades, because arcade games are challenging, but they're also easy to pick up and play. Nights into Dreams is not easy to pick up and play, nor is it easy to master. So you should enjoy this game while it's out there, for a reasonable price, because it would never get made today. The gameplay we're watching from me is horrendous, but I haven't memorized all of the levels yet. So fumbling about will get you a D or a C rating, which leaves much room for improvement. And there's many levels on top of the ones I'm even showing you. If you want any evidence about the popularity of this game, not 1, not 2, but 3 copies were donated to Classic Game Room. In rapid fire, too. It was like raining nights into dreams and 3D controllers. So I have 3 people to thank. Jose from Artesia, New Mexico, Eric from Hamlin, New York, and the Video Game Exchange in St. George, Utah. And I hope I pronounced everyone's town right, or else I challenge you all to Dreamscape. I need to watch that one again. That was kind of creepy. That and Flatliners. Nights into Dreams is not a game for everyone. It's not even a game for me, but it is a game for so many of you watching this show. And it's certainly an experience and a game that I admire. I really do admire the developers who created this game. They put some serious work into it. Fortunately, it can be found for the Saturn easily and for a very reasonable price. I believe there was also a PlayStation 2 release, although it may have only been Japanese, I'm not sure. Anyway, that's Nights into Dreams. If you think this one looks cool, I highly recommend that you hunt down a copy and play it. Just don't fall asleep and dream. Instead of Freddy Krueger, you're going to see the purple guy coming after you down the hallway.